Amanda Hanson back here at the Action News 5 digital desk. You know, it's so important to make sure that you're assessing your hair, not just for the look of it, but also, believe it or not, it can say a lot about your overall health. And joining us now to talk more about this topic is Joseph Ryan Hughes, a master stylist. Joseph, good morning. How you doing?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm doing really good. I'm looking forward to talking to you about this topic because I think it's it's stuff people don't think about when it comes to your hair health. Is more than just the look. It can say a lot about if you have maybe nutrition deficiencies or lacking vitamins or more than that. Can you touch on just the importance of making sure that you're doing that sort of thing and what it could be saying about your overall health?
Absolutely. A lot of people are unaware that your overall health will manifest itself on the outside, and your hair is a big indicator of your health. It's very important that you are taking care of yourself, that you are taking multivitamins, drinking plenty of water. Diet and exercise is truly key.
And you hear a lot of times stress. You know, people say they're like, oh, I feel like I'm stressed. I'm losing hair. And I mean, that can play a big factor when it comes to hair losses and hair issues as well, correct?
Absolutely. Stress is one of the most deadly things to not only your overall health, but to your hair. Anytime somebody's going through a huge life change, whether it be divorce, job loss, insecurities, that can definitely take a toll on your hair.
And then you hear about people when they're like, I'm going through menopause, and they struggle with hair issues as well. Are there certain things, like if you're looking at your hair, what do you need to be looking for, and what could it be saying?
Absolutely. So it's important. At my salon in Colleyville, Texas, we always take very thorough pictures of our clientele's hair because we want to be informed about what's going on currently, past, and future, so that way you can be in contact with your doctor. Anytime somebody's going through a hormone change or any sort of medical treatment, your hair will usually have some sort of change. We deal a lot with cancer patients, so going through chemotherapy, your hair can completely fall out, come back a different color, a different texture, and overall a completely different density as well.
That's super interesting. I think that that's really interesting. You take pictures of their hair each and every time so you can see those changes. I've never gone to a stylist that does that, so I think that that's really interesting. And like you said, it does make a difference. You can see changes, and it can help indicate other things, and if they need to go see a doctor or something like that. And so if people maybe are listening to this and they're saying, well, maybe I might be having some sort of issue, or maybe I'm not getting enough vitamins, what are some things that people can do to maybe help counter what they're experiencing?
Sure, it's a great question. I think that overall, ever since COVID, people have been way more aware of their overall health, and I think it's a good thing, and it's something that people need to focus on, like you said, not only for their aesthetic, but just to keep themselves healthy. So I personally take multivitamins, drink plenty of water, make sure that I'm eating enough fruits and vegetables, because all of those things are important. And with all the new weight loss surgeries and medications that people are on, it's also important to make sure you're getting nourishment, because your hair will completely fall out. So we definitely want to take care of ourselves on the inside as well as on the outside. So once your hair is grown from your scalp, we are very passionate about our product line, Ryan Wayne Hair Care, because we've designed it to combat a lot of issues that people are struggling with.
Yeah, and that was one thing I was going to talk to you about. When it comes to hair loss, it seems like a lot of people experience that sort of thing. And I don't know if COVID, we mentioned stress is one of the things that can lead to things like hair loss. But what are the most underlying factors when it comes to hair loss? And is there a way to maybe help with thickening your hair or changing that? Or is it mainly vitamins? I mean, anything else you would recommend when it comes to something like that? You hear a lot about these like hair serums that are drops and people massage it into their scalps. What kind of stuff, what do you recommend?
Well, I always say that happy hair grows. So it's very important that you are getting enough scalp manipulation, that you are shampooing your hair properly. I'm a big fan of a wet brush in the shower, so that way you can actually brush your scalp to exfoliate your scalp, to make sure that you're getting plenty of blood flow to the follicle. You also want to make sure that you're using good quality products. A lot of products that are less expensive typically have a lot of fillers in them. They aren't designed to really nourish and balance your hair and your scalp. So The hot oil treatments that you're speaking of, our luster oil is a great treatment for that. You can use it on the ends, mid-lengths, and the scalp directly. And you definitely want to get into a good routine with your hair, just like you would with your skincare. A lot of people, when they have their hair and it's free, they undervalue it. And once you go through a traumatic hair loss or anything like that, that's when you're definitely going to take your hair seriously. And I find that our clientele at Ryan Salon are the people who are ready to take their hair seriously and really have the confidence boost that they need to get through whatever they're going through in their life.
And you're right when you say it's like the product matters and like what you're using matters. Like sometimes, you know, I remember when I was younger, I used to probably just get the cheapest shampoo. And like I've noticed a difference switching to something a little better. But how do you know what is good, what's not? Are there certain things that you want to make sure that you're looking for?
Absolutely. So a lot of people always hear the term sulfate free and they don't even know what sulfate free means. They just think, oh, I've heard I need something sulfate free. And so I just like to remind them of what that means. If you're doing any sort of treatments on your hair, whether it's chemical or color, sulfates are molecules that are small enough to penetrate the hair cuticle, and therefore that can basically knock out the color or the treatments you're putting in your hair. So sulfates are actually bad for when you're getting these treatments because they are going to knock out anything you're doing in your hair. Sulfate free means that it is going to be a molecule that's large enough to stay on the outside of the cuticle, so that way you are not interfering with any treatments or color services. As well as, I believe that parabens are really bad for you because there's been lots of correlation between parabens and cancer, and if you get a product with parabens in it, it's just designed to make the product last longer and be on the shelf in warehouses longer. And when you think about you're washing your hair, you start at the top of your head and you're rinsing that product all throughout your body. And so you're absorbing these parabens more than just in your hair and scalp. So I always say paraben free and sulfate free are the two indicators that I really pay attention to. And of course, I'm an animal lover, so always cruelty free.
Good advice. And I'm wondering, you know, I just thought it'd be interesting to ask. A lot of people try to think of like home remedies or home things that they can make at home, like hair masks that they can do at home. And I've heard of using things like eggs or yogurt or, you know, various things, avocado. And any advice you could share about maybe something like that if people want to make those at home hair masks?
Absolutely. So of course, you know me, I'm a salon stylist, so I'm going to always recommend salon quality products such as Ryan Wayne Hair Care. However, if you do want to experiment with something at home, I think that anything you're getting in your fridge that is natural is not going to hurt your hair. You can try it and have an experiment of your own and see what you think. But typically people that are doing those treatments are looking for something that's either high in protein or high in oil because you're trying to add shine, moisture, and or repair to your hair, typically with a mask. So I think, you know, become your own little hair chef if you want. That's what I do in my salon in Colleyville. We just treat our salon as a lab and we test out our products on our clients and of course ourselves, because if it's good enough for me, I assume it'd be good enough for you.
This is a fun interview. I love talking about this kind of stuff, and I think a lot of people are interested in this sort of thing. Anything else you feel like we missed that you want to make sure we talk about?
Well, I just want to make sure that people are aware that you should not feel guilty for trying to take pride in how you look. A lot of times people feel like it's a vanity situation, wanting to spend a little extra time or money on yourself. But to be the best version of yourself and have the maximum confidence that will impact your life every single day, whether it's at work, being a mom, being a wife, being a husband, it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. Treat yourself like you are the ambassador of your brand and you want to represent yourself well. And also, when you feel good, you will definitely display that in everything that you do. So just make sure that you take the time for you, you do your research, and of course, once you do your research, you'll find me at Ryan Wayne Salon and you will love it.
Well, I appreciate you joining us here on the Digital Desk. This has been a good conversation, very informative, and you have a good rest of the day, all right?
Thank you so much.